Hey guys! So you may have noticed that this week I'm posting a little bit earlier than usual, and the reason for that is that Aer actually reached out to me to see if I would be interested in trying out a bag from their upcoming work collection, which actually goes on sale today. And so this new work collection actually includes a couple of different bags and accessories which all seem to be geared towards kind of the modern day professional, individuals who don't necessarily work a traditional 9-to-5 job, who are into freelancing or like to work out of coffee shops and are just kind of on the go on a day-to-day basis, and who really have a lot of things they have to keep with them on a day-to-day basis and need a comfortable and stylish way to carry it and also keep everything organized. I've reviewed a few different bags from Aer in the past. I'm a really big fan of the company. I love their travel pack and the flight pack, and we'll actually be reviewing the fit pack here in a couple of weeks. And so far, all the bags have been great, but I'm really excited about this new work collection because I do feel it fills kind of a gap that those bags had left. Bags like the fit pack are kind of focused on people who are looking to combine a gym bag and a work bag, and then obviously the travel pack is a fantastic bag for traveling, but it is a little bit big to use on a day-to-day basis. The flight pack is a great bag for kind of the professional who has a carry-on bag and who needs just a small bag to carry a few essentials to a meeting or something like that. But they were really missing something along the lines of something like an in-case Icon backpack or something like a Timbuktu Authority, where it's a tech-focused bag for an individual who's on the road most of the day, or even a college student with a lot of organization, a lot of different compartments to keep everything organized, and just something stylish and comfortable to wear. And so the bag we're going to be taking a look at today is the Aer Tech Pack. And so I've been testing this bag out for the past couple of weeks, and I have to say I've been really impressed so far. This is exactly the type of bag that I was hoping Aer would come out with at some point. It has tons of organization for all my tech. It has a good amount of space to carry everything that I would need for a day away from my house, where I'm just out in the city working from a coffee shop or something. And as with all of Aer's other bags, it has fantastic quality and it's really comfortable to wear. So I just want to go ahead and thank Aer for sending the bag over for me to test out. I've been really impressed with it, and I'm really excited to take a closer look with you guys. So let's go ahead and dive into the Aer Tech Pack. So starting off with the aesthetics of the bag, I have to say the bag looks really sleek. I really love this kind of updated modern tech look. So, it reminds me a little bit of bags like the in-case Icon backpack or the Timbuktu Authority, but it just got a sleeker and cleaner look. I think a lot of that has to do with kind of this really minimal front here. There's no kind of pockets or zippers hanging out of the front, so it just makes it look really sleek. But the bag itself has plenty of organization, so it matches up well with those bags, and it still manages to maintain a pretty slim profile. So as you can see here, it never really gets that thick. So what I've gone ahead and done for this video is filled up this bag with all the same items that you've seen in many of my other daily bag videos, just to showcase how it kind of compares as far as depth and capacity. And so even when the bag is full, as you can see here, it never gets too bulky, which is really nice, but it still manages to hold everything comfortably. The bag itself is made out of the same durable ballistic nylon material that many of Aer's other bags have featured in the past. On top of that, it has some really high quality YKK zippers that all have AquaGuards to help add a little bit of water resistance and help keep your electronics safe. In addition to the AquaGuards on the zippers, the front of the bag has this kind of water-resistant tarpaulin-like material. It really feels like it's going to help keep rain out and just, really provide a really durable feel to the bag. So overall, I just really love the aesthetics. I feel like the bag is going to hold up really well, and I just think it matches up great in a variety of environments. With this sleek look, it definitely fits in around the office, or if you're walking around the city, just working from a coffee shop or something like that. And it's also even great for just students who want to have a stylish bag to carry all their stuff on a day-to-day basis while they're moving around campus or something like that. So continuing on with kind of just the outer aesthetics of the bag itself features two different handles. And so handles is something that Aer has done really well in the past. They always provide a really quality, almost seatbelt-like material on these handles. They're very comfortable to hold. They feel like they're really sturdy and like they're going to hold up over the long term no matter how much stuff you put in the bag. And so as I mentioned, there are two of them. So, one at the top that, that will be really good for just picking up your bag when you're ready to go, or if you want to hang it from somewhere, it feels like this is going to be able to hold up just fine. And then one on the side as well if you want to carry the bag as a briefcase as you're walking into a meeting or something like that, or onto a flight. So as with all of the other bags, the handles are really well done. They feel great to hold. The main issue that I noticed with the handle is that it kind of sticks out a lot. So I do wish that it was kind of a little bit closer to the bag. I feel like the Aer Flight Pack did a little bit better job of this. Also the Aer Travel Pack, both of those bags, they have a similar quality handle that's very comfortable to hold, but it just seems to hug the bag better. So not a big deal, just more of an aesthetic gripe, but You know, the handle itself is great. Moving on to these straps and the back panel, this is something that all the Aer bags that I've used in the past have done supremely well. They're always very comfortable. They have superb padding, so these straps are, you know, just the right amount of thickness. They're not too thick, but they're not too thin. The padding itself has a nice kind of comfortable mesh. The straps are nice and wide so that you can manage the weight that a bag like this might pick up, but they're not overly wide, so everything is just really well balanced, and I feel like it's been super comfortable to wear even when I've worn it for prolonged periods around the city. The straps themselves include an adjustable sternum strap to help distribute that weight a little bit more. And then the back paneling is also super well done. It's very comfortable. It's got a really nice mesh here that's very soft and provides a lot of airflow to help keep your back a little bit drier as you're walking around during the day. And then it also has nice elevation here to allow air to come in and just help keep that moisture away for a little bit longer. So as with all of Aer's other bag, it's super comfortable to wear. I've really enjoyed wearing this and haven't had any issues with comfort. Another notable feature on the back of the bag is kind of this little loop here that it has as a pass-through, so that if you're traveling and you're using a carry-on suitcase, you can actually put the backpack onto the suitcase if you don't want to carry it around the airport with you. So it's really nice that they've kind of included this, and just goes to show kind of that focus on the modern worker that's traveling and moving from city to city often. So really nice to just kind of have this. And the strap itself doesn't take up a lot of space. It's just, you know, a very minimal piece of fabric here that they've included. It's got a similar, if thinner, material to the one on the handle. I do worry that because the strap itself is so low on the bag, that it almost feels like the bag could tend to lean forward a little bit. So even though this would keep it attached to your suitcase, I wonder if maybe the pressure of having the bag lean forward so much could possibly lead to tearing of this strap in the future. So that's something to keep an eye out. I haven't noticed any issues so far, and it works as intended, as you can see in the footage. But over the long term, I would be concerned that if you have kind of a heavier load on the bag and it's leaning forward, that it could be pulling a lot on this. So before moving on to the pockets of the bag, one thing that you'll notice as I have the bag here in front of me on this table is just how well the bag stands up on its own. And so this was a very intentional design decision by Aer. If you look through their site, you'll notice that they describe the backpack as kind of a toolbox for the modern professional. And so having the bag stand up so well on its own really lends itself to that comparison, because it becomes very easy to kind of just reach down and grab whatever you need as you're moving about your day. If you're sitting at a coffee shop and you just need to reach in and grab a folder or your charger, it's really easy when the bag stands up straight on its own, as opposed to some flimsier bags that kind of collapse in on themselves. It's really nice that this is just always ready to go. As you can see here, it doesn't fall over if you push it, you know, and even if it's completely empty, it will stand up well on its own. And for the most part, this works really well, especially since the bag is slim. You won't really run into any issues as far as, you know, putting this under an airplane seat or anything like that. The one thing that I did notice is the bag's rigidity makes it a little bit difficult in some of the pockets to put in bulkier items, just because it doesn't really have any give. But the nice thing that I realized is that some of the plastic inserts that give the bag its rigidity are actually removable. So you can actually take it out if you want to give the bag just a little bit more flexibility in kind of the main compartment. If you have something a little bit bulkier, or maybe some gym clothes or something you want to throw in there, you can take the frame out and just give yourself just a little bit more wiggle room. But for the most part, I've left the plastic supports in because I really like being able to have the bag stand up on its own. So really cool design decision by Aer, and it's really just really nice that the bag stand up so well on its own. Moving on to the compartments of the bag, the first thing I'm going to call out, as with so many other daily bag videos that I've shot in the past, is that this bag has a water bottle pocket. I was super excited to see this. As I mentioned earlier on the channel, I've had a chance to test out the Aer Flight Pack and the Aer Fit Pack, and I really loved both of those bags. But one issue that I noticed with both of them was that they didn't have a dedicated water bottle pocket. So I really love that that was included here in the Aer Tech Pack. As you can see, I just have the same water bottle that I've included in all my other videos. And the pocket itself feels really sturdy. It's nice and thick. It has an elastic band that allows you to put in a wider water bottle if you would like. It doesn't stretch out too much. So I wouldn't put in something huge like a 1 liter bottle, but it definitely would fit something a little thicker than the one that I currently have, or if you want to carry around an umbrella or a tripod or anything like that, it should fit in pretty well here. And the nice thing is that if you're not using the pocket, it does kind of hug the bag a little bit. It doesn't have magnets or anything like we saw with the Nomadic Travel Pack, but it doesn't stick out too badly either, which helps keep kind of this nice sleek profile that the bag has. On the other side of the Tech Pack, Aer has included a smaller kind of zippered compartment here. This is just a small pocket for smaller accessories that you might want to have quicker access to. So to me, this is kind of a great pocket for something like a portable charger. So here I just have my own portable charger that I have there if I need to grab it really quickly. On Aer's promotional materials, I believe they have a pair of AirPods in here. So just, you know, a good spot for smaller items, maybe a granola bar or something like that. It's not a very wide pocket, so you won't be able to put anything too bulky in there. Or if you did, you might be able to squeeze it in, but it might be kind of hard to get it out just because the pocket itself doesn't open too wide. But it is nice to just have this kind of additional pocket here on the side to help add a little bit of separation between all the bigger main compartments and just something that you can grab really quickly if you need to. So moving on to the rest of the pockets, before I jump in, one thing I want to showcase is just kind of these zipper pulls. The bag has these really nice, easy to grab zipper pulls on all of the zippers, and that is especially useful for this kind of hidden quick access compartment that the bag has at the top. So one thing that all the Aer bags that I've used in the past have done exceptionally well is have this really quick access compartment at the top that's really easy to just kind of reach in and grab something. You know, if you're traveling, this is kind of the go-to pocket to put in your phone, your passport, just things you need to grab really quickly. And so that pocket can be found here at the top. As you can see, it's a little bit hidden, but it has a nice kind of water guard here. And you know, the pocket itself is impressively large, in my opinion, for a quick access pocket. It really holds the items that I typically carry in these types of pockets very comfortably. So as you can see here, what I have is just my Ray-Ban sunglasses in their case. And I also have a lightning cable to charge my phone. And you know, there's plenty of leftover space for, you know, additional items. If you wanted to throw another portable battery in here, if you wanted to put your phone in here, maybe some additional cables, just anything that you want to grab quickly is going to fit in really nicely here. It's a really nice pocket to just be able to grab and put stuff in and out really quickly. And I'm just really impressed by how much it can actually hold. The pocket itself, as you can see here, it doesn't have any sort of kind of felt lining on the inside to help protect against scratches. So if you put a phone in there, you know, it's not necessarily going to get scratched, but it doesn't have that additional soft lining to add a little bit of extra protection. Or if you put some sunglasses without the case, there is a little bit more of a risk. Overall, that's not really a deal breaker at all, and I still think the pocket is just super useful. I love how much space it offers and how easy it is to get in and out of that pocket. One thing to note is that the bag does kind of go into the main compartment, which we'll show in a little while, and actually takes up some space in there. So it will be kind of flopping around in there. If you do fill it up completely, you might notice a little bit of a bulge when you get into the main compartment. So not a really big deal for me. I really just like having this quick access compartment, and I think as with all of Aer's other bags, it's implemented super well, but just something to be aware of. So next up, I want to talk about the laptop compartment. So this backpack has a really great laptop compartment. Just to start out, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it has the really rugged kind of AquaGuard YKK zippers to help keep your laptop safe. It has kind of a 3/4 opening for the laptop, so it doesn't open fully like a TSA laptop compartment, and it's not just a top loader. It opens about 3/4 of the way, so you can get like a nice wide opening so that it's really easy to kind of reach in and grab your laptop. The compartment itself is really spacious. As you can see here in the footage, it will comfortably hold a 13-inch laptop. What I currently have in there is a 13-inch MacBook Pro, but as you can see, there's plenty of space here along the top for a 15-inch laptop, maybe even a 17-inch, so just plenty of space to put in a laptop. And the compartment itself is pretty well padded. You know, both of the sides of the bag have really nice padding that really make you feel like the laptop is going to be secure. I remember one of the kind of primary complaints that I had with the Aer Flight Pack was that the laptop compartment was kind of in the same area as the rest of the items. And I really like that it has its own dedicated laptop compartment here, and that it's, you know, it's really well padded. It has plenty of space, and I really like the kind of wider opening that this 3/4 zipper allows. It just makes it really easy to just reach in and grab your laptop really quickly. One thing that I would have really liked to see is maybe a little bit more of a fleece lining, kind of as I mentioned for the quick access compartment. It would have been nice to have some softer fleece lining here to help prevent against kind of any scratches that might occur. So bags like the Nomadic Travel Pack and the Lenovo Passage backpack that we reviewed a little while back on the channel have a little bit of a softer lining on the laptop compartments to just give a little bit more protection against those scratches. But overall, this pocket still feels like it's going to keep your laptop nice and safe and just offer plenty of space for whatever you want to put in there. One small thing that I noticed, which isn't really a big deal, but I think it would be nice, especially for a future iteration of the bag. As I showed earlier in the video, you do have this kind of side handle that allows you to carry the bag as a briefcase. So, you know, you're holding it by the side. One thing that would have been nice is if the zipper for the laptop compartment was on the same side as the handle, so that you could actually open the laptop compartment and, you know, reach in and grab your laptop as you would with a briefcase. The way the zipper is currently laid out, the wide opening of the bag is under the handle, so you could still open it and reach in from the side and grab your laptop. I think it's a little bit dangerous almost, you know, if you don't have a good grip on your laptop and you're holding it like this, it could potentially fall out. And also, it's just a little bit less smooth than if the wider end of the zipper had been placed on the same side of the handle. That would allow you to just unzip it, reach in and out like a briefcase or a regular laptop bag, and just put it in and out very simply. So not a huge deal at all, but definitely something to note. So moving on to the front of the bag, behind this really cool kind of minimal tarpaulin material is actually the main organization compartment of the bag. So this is where you'll have most of your tech accessories, you know, your chargers, your cables, everything that you'll need to keep really organized will probably go in this compartment. It has a lot of cool little slots and pouches to help keep everything in its own individual spot, and I really like how a lot of this stuff was laid out. So one thing that really stood out to me about this pocket to start was just kind of how flexible the front of this bag is. So this is a really good pocket to put in any bulkier items that you might have. As you'll see when we're going through the bag, I put most of the bulky items that I carry with me on a daily basis in this pocket, just because you have a little bit more flexibility because of this kind of material on the front. So just diving into this compartment, you can really see what Aer means when they say that this is a toolbox for the modern professional. It really does have a spot for everything. And so just going through the pockets, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this has all the same items that I've used in my other daily bag videos, just for comparison's sake. So just starting off with the top area of the bag, it has a few different slip pockets that you can use to organize a few of your essentials. So in the first one here, I just have an Apple Magic Mouse. And this pocket is nice and flexible, so as you can see, it has a little elastic band to let it stretch out. And this is a nice size pocket. As you can see, my hand almost fits in here. And so this is a great pocket for not only the mouse, but you could also put a portable hard drive in there, or a bigger external battery, or maybe even a GoPro or something like that. So a lot of flexibility in how you can use this pocket. Next to that, there are two kind of pen/stylish holder pockets. So here I just have a regular old Sharpie, but it's nice to have just two of those. Next up, the bag has kind of another slip pocket that's very similar to the first one that we looked at. It's pretty similar in size. It's a little bit less wide than the first one we looked at. So here I just kind of have the power brick for my MacBook Pro, and you know, that fits very comfortably back there. And as you can see here, I can fit most of my hand into this pocket as well. So that, again, this is also good for a hard drive or a portable battery. On front of that slip pocket, what we have is just another kind of mesh elastic compartment that can also be used for something like a cable. So here I have the USB-C charger portion of my MacBook charger, and you know, that fits very comfortably in there. But I've also put my GoPro here in the past and just other smaller cables, and so you know, it's just really nice to kind of have this separation here. One thing to note is if you do put something bulky in this back slip pocket, it does make it a little bit difficult to use the front mesh compartment. Or vice versa, if you put something bulkier in the front, it does take away a little bit of space from what you put in the back. So I guess the main takeaway there is that you can't really put two bulky items together here. So just something to keep in mind as you're organizing your bag. There is also a zipper pocket here to add a little bit more separation between your items. So this pocket itself is not too deep. It goes about halfway down into the compartment. And this is a great spot for maybe putting a book or a magazine or a small notebook. What I have in here is just my USB-C dongle for my MacBook. I really love these. This has become one of my favorite items to carry with me on a day-to-day basis. In the pocket, I also just have a flashlight, which I like to have with me just in case. And then this pocket is also really cool in that because it includes a keychain holder. So this has a similar keychain loop to what was found in the Aer Flight Pack as well as the Aer Travel Pack. They both kind of have the same style. It's just a really simple keychain loop. It has a plastic hook here to help keep your keys in their place. Currently, I just have a Gerber shard in here just to kind of showcase the hook, but this would be a good place to put your house keys or your car keys if you don't want to have them in your pocket all day. And you know, I really like that this was included, and I think it's really useful. I do wish that it had some sort of clip that would allow you to remove the keys to use them and then attach them back in, or I do wish that this was a little bit longer just to make it a little more useful. Moving on to the bottom of the bag, so as I mentioned earlier, here's where I have the majority of my bulkier items. So I have my Beats Solo Wireless 2 here, and I also have a Bluetooth speaker that I've been carrying around with me recently just for conference calls and just to hear music while I'm out and about. So the pocket itself is pretty deep and has plenty of space to put items down there. And in the bottom of the bag, there's also additional slip pockets to help keep your stuff organized even when it gets down into the lower part of the bag, which is really nice. So first off, they have kind of this one longer kind of combined pocket that's really quite perfect for a moleskin notebook, which is what I have here. It fits perfectly and helps keep it easy to access. And then on top of those, there's 2 more slip pockets, very similar to the ones we saw on the top. So they have that same kind of elastic band, and you know they're pretty big. They stretch out pretty far. As you can see, my hand fits in here completely. And these are both equal size. So you know you can interchange whatever you put in each of these. Right now, I currently have a GoPro in one of them, my GoPro Hero 3 Plus, and I also have an external hard drive in the other one. So, you know, just really useful pockets, very flexible because they're just very elastic and they're pretty large. It's very easy to kind of just use them for a bunch of different items. And it's really nice that they don't pop out too much. So if you just don't want to use them, I have trouble using a lot of these slip pockets sometimes because of the pouches and stuff that I typically carry with me. So I don't use these as much, but the great thing is that they don't get in my way. I just kind of push them back against the bag and put my pouches in, and it doesn't really affect the way I pack it all. So it's really nice the way that those were implemented. The last compartment we're going to take a look at is kind of the main storage compartment. And so this has a really nice rugged zipper with a really great AquaGuard to help keep water out. And this pocket itself also has a good amount of organization in addition to providing plenty of space to allow you to store everything you'll need on a day-to-day basis. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the top quick access compartment does take up a little bit of space in this area. As you can see, here is the pouch that makes up that pocket, and so if it's really full, it just kind of hangs in here. It doesn't take up too much space, and you still have plenty of remaining space for everything you might want to put in here, but it's just something I wanted to call out. And so in this pocket is where I have most of the pouches that I use on a day-to-day basis. So currently I have my BagSmart cable organizer, and then I also have my in-case accessory organizer for, you know, most of the other kind of random electronic gadgets that I carry with me. And so the bag itself is pretty deep, as you can see, towards the bottom, so it's really good for kind of stacking things up. There's plenty of space. At the bottom of the bag, there's 2 more slip pockets, very much like the ones we just saw in the front accessory pocket. So this is another great spot for putting similar things like we talked about, you know, portable hard drives, portable batteries, you know, additional cables, power bricks, just different things that you would likely have with you as you're moving around the city on a day-to-day basis. These pockets are both equally sized, and these are a little bit larger than the ones in the last compartment, so they definitely fit my whole hand easily, and they're pretty elastic. They come out nice and wide. So if you don't have a lot of pouches like the ones that I typically use for my daily bag videos, and you do want just everything to have its own spot, this bag has plenty of little pockets for you to organize everything. Behind those 2 pockets, there is an additional kind of slip pocket. This is a really kind of thin pocket. It just has kind of a felt divider here. There's not a lot of padding here or anything. It's definitely not meant to protect any sort of devices, but it is a good spot for putting like a document folder. I currently have my Kindle and my iPad mini 2 here, so they both fit in there. The pocket itself is pretty wide, but it just is not meant to be a protective pocket. The bag itself doesn't really have a dedicated tablet sleeve, so I just put it in here for the sake of organizing. But because there's so much space, the items aren't really like pressed up tightly against each other, and I do feel like they're still going to be kept pretty safe. And I do like having them in their own kind of separate organizer like this, just so it's really easy to reach in and grab them. So really nice to have that option. And then behind that, there's almost like a second laptop compartment. So this pocket reminds me a lot of the laptop sleeve that was provided on the Aer Flight Pack. So it's got a little bit of padding, and it comes out pretty wide. So this is a great spot, for example, if you're a student, to put some books, or if you carry multiple larger devices with you on a day-to-day basis, you could actually probably put a tablet or a laptop in here as well, and I feel like it would be pretty well protected. This pocket is actually elevated off the bottom of the floor, so it does provide that protection for an electronic device if you so choose to use it for that. But as I mentioned, good for textbooks. This is actually a perfect spot for me to put my portable standing desk from Levitate. So overall, I was really impressed with how much I was able to fit in this main compartment. I love all the internal organization that it offers. It really helps give everything its own place. And so overall, I was just really impressed with the bag as a whole, and I think it'll be a bag I use a lot as I'm working out of my house or away from my office on a day-to-day basis. Overall, I really enjoyed using this bag. I was really impressed with everything it had to offer. I think it has fantastic organization. It's really comfortable to wear, and as with all of Aer's other bags, it has a really great quality. It feels like it's going to last a long time. As I mentioned earlier, this bag is one of many bags that are being released today as part of Aer's Work Collection. And so I've included a link below to where you can get an overview of the whole collection, as well as a link to where you can actually purchase this bag on Aer's official site, and where you could get a little bit more information on the different features of the bag. The bag itself is going to cost about $200, so it is a bit of an investment, but you are getting a lot for your money. So if you don't need quite as much organization and space as this bag offers, but you're looking for something that's going to fit well into an office environment or good for kind of a companion carry-on item when you're traveling, definitely recommend taking a look at the Aer Flight Pack, which is a little bit cheaper, but it's also a little bit smaller. And if you don't need something as professional looking for the office, but you're looking for just a great day bag that holds a good amount of stuff and is going to be comfortable to wear around the city, I definitely recommend you take a look at the Aer Fit Pack. As I mentioned, we'll be having a review for that here in a couple of weeks, so definitely make sure to keep a lookout for that video. If you're interested in a bag that's similar to this, but you're looking to save a little bit of money, I definitely recommend you take a look at a bag like the Timbuktu Authority, which we reviewed in the past on the channel, or maybe even some of the more budget options from Lepacker that we've looked at in the past as well. You know, those bags may not hold up as well, or they may not be quite as padded or comfortable as this bag, but they are good options if you are looking to save a little bit of money. So I'll make sure to include links to all the reviews that we've done for that in the past. But overall, it really feels like the Aer Tech Pack is going to be a really good investment. I want to thank Aer again for sending the bag over for me to check out. You know, I was really impressed, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with you guys so early. As I mentioned earlier, it goes on sale today, so definitely go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions about the bag, please let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this review, please go ahead and leave us a like below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.